NSCAA convention to me is probably the best place to get any sort of education of a wide variety that you can go in the world.
Always nice to see who you wander across in the hallways, might have a quick word with.
I think it's exciting to meet youth coaches and high school coaches and even college coaches who are all really passionate about the sport.
It's a learning experience. I think it's invaluable both from a coach standpoint and from an administrative standpoint.
Each year, the NSCAA puts over 7,000 coaches through our coaching education program. Youth, high school, and college coaches at all levels participate in the diploma courses. No matter where you are in your coaching path, we have something for you. Join your peers and get educated. Better coaching, better players, better game. NSCAA Coaching Academy. Improving soccer, one coach at a time. Register today at nscaa.com/education.
Welcome to the 2014 NSCAA Game of the Week, brought to you by Turbo Sports. And tonight we come to you live from Harrison Stadium on the campus of Drury University in Springfield, Missouri. It's a Great Lakes Valley Conference clash between the Greyhounds from the University of Indianapolis and the Panthers from Drury University. Well, good evening, everybody. I'm Matt Digby. Glad you could drop by and enjoy this Division II encounter between two teams that have a lot of high expectations for the 2014 campaign. Indianapolis, the preseason pick to win the GLVC by the coaches. They have not performed quite up to expectations so far. They come into this match with a record of no wins, 2 losses, and 2 draws. Their last game was a double overtime 1-0 loss against fellow GLVC foe Rockhurst. But the Greyhounds look to get on track with their first win of the season. Will it come here tonight against the Drury Panthers, who are 3-1 for the year? Their last game, a 2-1 win at Wisconsin Parkside. They are currently 6th place in the GLVC with a 1-1 conference record, as opposed to the Greyhounds, who are 0-1 in conference play. Drury currently ranked 9th in the Division II Midwest Region poll. This is Drury's first home game of the season, and they have decided to welcome in the home season with a doubleheader earlier today. The Drury women's team taking on Indy's women's soccer squad. That match just finished about a half hour ago in a 1-1 draw, so that's kind of the reason we have the delay, as this match was scheduled to kick off around 7:30 p.m. Central Time, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time, and we are just about 7:45 Central here in Springfield, Missouri, known as the Queen City of the Ozarks. And it is a spectacular sight to have this Division II Great Lakes Valley Conference matchup between the Greyhounds and the Panthers. Starting lineups just announced a couple of minutes ago. We'll bring them to you right now. The Drury University Panthers first. They are the home team. They are 3-1 on the season, 1-1 in conference play. Their starting goalkeeper is a senior from St. Charles, Missouri, number 0, Logan Ponche. And then their outfield players, they are going with a senior midfielder from St. Louis, Missouri, number 2, Jack Mathis. A defender, a sophomore from Bannockburn, Scotland, number 4, David Cross. A freshman defender from Palma de Mallorca, Spain, number 5, Pau Alberti. A senior defender from Wentzville, Missouri, number 6, Ryan Haas. At forward, a senior from Highland, Illinois, number 9, Nick Amon. A sophomore forward from Ullapool, Scotland, number 10, Ben Bruce. A junior midfielder from Florissant, Missouri, number 12, Matt Clarkin. A senior midfielder from Jefferson City, Missouri, number 13, Alec Nagel. A senior defender/midfielder from St. Louis, Missouri, number 14, Mike Lee. and a senior midfielder from O'Fallon, Missouri, number 21, Scott Stifler. So the outfield players are Mathis, Cross, Alberti, Haas, Amon, Bruce, Nagel, Lee, Clarkin, and Stifler. Again, starting goalkeeper from St. Charles, Missouri is Logan Ponche. Head coach for the Drury Panthers in his 6th season is Ryan Swan. He was a former associate head coach for Drury, and he comes from Perth, Scotland. And yes, I was able to speak with him about how last night's election went for Scottish independence, and we will bring you information of that a little later on in this broadcast. Now let's take a look at the Indianapolis Greyhounds starting 11. Their head coach, also from Scotland, John Higgins, in his 5th season. He is a former player, graduated with both a bachelor's and a master's from the University of Indianapolis. He is going with his starting goalkeeper, a redshirt senior from Plainfield, Indiana, Andrew Verhonek. He wears number 1. A freshman midfielder from Buckton, England, number 4, Josh Ling, is on the start. As is a freshman midfielder from Gross-Karolinenfeld, Germany, number 7, David Kurz. A redshirt junior midfielder from Fort Wayne, Indiana, number 8, Casey Zimmerman. A junior forward from Blackburn, England, number 9, Patrick O'Brien. A senior forward from Rochester, New York, number 11. He goes by just one name, Wazzy. A junior defender from Terre Haute, Indiana, number 12, Julian Shamshai, At midfielder, a senior from Southampton, Bermuda, number 14, Casey Castle. At defender, a senior from Powell, Ohio, number 16, Max Rhoda. A junior defender from Indiana, number 24, Brendan Wiedau. And a junior defender from Leutkirch, Germany, number 25, Daniel Vellman. So again, the starting lineup for the Indianapolis Greyhounds in the outfield: Josh Ling, David Kurz, Casey Zimmerman, Patrick O'Brien, Wazzy, Julian Shamshai, Casey Castle, Max Rhoda, Brendan Wiedau, and Daniel Vellman. Starting goalkeeper, a redshirt senior from Plainfield, Indiana, is Andrew Verhonek. Teams right now getting set to walk out for the pregame festivities. Drury will be dressed in their home white uniforms, white shirts, white shorts, white socks. Drury in block written across the jersey with numbers below, while University of Indianapolis in all black, black with white trim. Black shirt, black shorts, black socks. Numbers will be in the corner of their jersey. But fear not, fans, I have come prepared with binoculars to identify the players. Numbers in white on the back side. Right now we're going to keep it here. I'll step aside for the playing of our national anthem. Again, this is the NSCAA Game of the Week between the University of Indianapolis and Drury University. And as always, we thank the servicemen and women of this country for their service to the United States of America. We especially greet those listening tonight as we get set to bring you our first in-conference matchup between the Indianapolis Greyhounds and the Drury Panthers. This matchup taking place in the Great Lakes Valley Conference, coming to you live from Harrison Stadium in Springfield, Missouri, the Queen City of the Ozarks, a fitting setting for this rivalry. These two teams met twice last season in the 2013 campaign, and the U of Indy got the better of the Panthers in both encounters, a 3-1 win in the regular season and a 3-2 win in the GLVC tourney semifinals. Indianapolis would go on to finish the year 15 wins, 3 losses, 3 draws, 12 wins, 1 loss, and 2 draws in the conference. They were second in the GLVC. They did lose the tournament championship game, but the NCAA tournament as an at-large team, although they lost on penalties in the first round. As Drury in white gets set to kick us off, it will be the 2 forwards up top for the Panthers, Nick Amon and Ben Bruce. Drury going left to right across your screen. That would be north to south in terms of geography. Indianapolis going from right to left, attacking the north goal. Drury coming off a 13-7 season. They were 9-6 in conference, 6th in the GLVC. They did not have any postseason run, but they're looking to change that in 2014. We are underway as University of Indianapolis gets an attacking throw-in inside the opening 20 seconds of the match. This is not our first encounter at a GLVC school. We did visit Bellarmine a couple of weeks ago with the Knights narrowly losing to Ohio Dominican 3-2 in extra time. The Ohio Dominican Panthers needing only 87 seconds of overtime to win a penalty, convert it, and get out of Louisville with a win. And this is also our last GLVC encounter. A couple weeks we will be coming to you from Kansas City, Missouri, where Rockhurst will host Quincy. So it should be an exciting matchup. But right now, all eyes are on Harrison Stadium in Springfield. Free kick awarded to Drury. It will be taken by Pau Alberti, the freshman defender from Palma de Mallorca, Spain. First touch of the ball for Indy goalkeeper Andrew Verhonik. Greyhounds still searching for their first win of the season. And what is their first game of a lengthy road trip upcoming for the Greyhounds? They'll actually had a couple of hours northeast of for a Sunday afternoon encounter at Missouri S&T. That school located in Rolla, Missouri, just up the road, up I-44. Our crew drove through the town of Rolla last night. We drove through Indianapolis last night as well. We came from the Division III encounter between Ohio Wesleyan and Ohio, place in Delaware, Ohio, a couple of miles north of Columbus. So we did get to drive through Indianapolis, as well as obviously we are now here in Springfield. Here's UND with an opportunity. Wazzy. We spoke with head coach John Higgins. Told us that is what his senior forward from Rochester, New York goes by, just one word, Wazzy. Full name, Ngueze Ebongweze. And a throw into the Greyhounds. We are just under 3 minutes old in this match. For those of you new to college soccer, clock counts down from 45 in every half. Stoppages for goals, injuries, or major fouls, usually that kind that leads to yellow cards or even red cards. We have not seen any dismissals in this match so far at the college level. Although there has been one red card shown to Indianapolis throughout the season. That was to Joshua Hickett. back at the beginning of the month. He is not listed on the roster for tonight, did not travel with the team here to Springfield. Indy on the attack quickly. This is Wazzy. Leaves it for a one-time shot. That was Patrick O'Brien, the junior from Blackburn, England. Previously played for Carlisle United. Also previously attended the University of Central Lancashire. A lot of international influence on both rosters. Certainly the coaches have some say in that, both of them coming from Scotland. Here's an intercepted pass, won by Jack Mathis of Drury. Inside the middle of the field, Alec Nagel. Poked away by Indy. Long ball sent down towards Wazzy. And Wazzy getting around a Drury defender. And the ball eventually collected by Logan Ponche, who clears. Not just a lot of international influence, a lot of Missouri influence. Both teams recruiting from home, and both teams also have a couple of transfers. As players like David Cross, starting defender for the Panthers, previously played at Sterling University. Ivan Borka, a sophomore midfielder from Winnipeg, Manitoba, used to play at the University of Winnipeg. Here's a cross for Indy, Casey Castle. And Drury winning back possession. Long ball intended for Bruce. Out comes Verhonik to take the one-touch clearance, and that was an important one from the redshirt senior goalkeeper, because Bruce was able to cut in between two defenders and had a very promising opportunity had he beaten Verhonik to the touch. But an attacking throw-in now for the Panthers will be taken by Amon. Amon, the senior from Highland, wants to take a long throw-in. Goes inside the box, cleared out by Indy. Headed forward by Castle, only as far as Mathis. And Mathis tries a long-range shot, always going away from goal, and out for a Indy goal kick. Temperature is in a very comfortable 70s here in Springfield. Haven't cracked the 80 mark on the thermometer today. And we're certainly not going to, with the sun having already set on this Friday, September 19th, 2014. As the goal kick, headed on by Daniel Vellman. This is Mike Lee. Awkward clearance out of bounds. Indianapolis gets the ensuing throw-in. To be taken by David Kors, one of two starting Greyhounds from Germany. O'Brien's cross into the box, cleared out. And again collected by the Greyhounds, by Josh Ling. Now a fast break opportunity for Drury University, eager to get some measure of revenge after suffering 2 losses to the Greyhounds in 2013, one of which was a season-ending loss in the GLVC tournament semifinals. Meanwhile, for Indianapolis, 4 games played, no wins recorded. What better way than to get a first win against a team you've had success against in the past? and maybe rise up that GLVC table. Greyhounds currently 13th in the conference with 1 loss and 1 draw. Drury Panthers are 6th in the GLVC with 1 win and 1 loss. Ninth minute of action here. Play on the far side of the field. That's where the teams are located. Here's UND's captain Max Rhoda from Powell, Ohio, a transfer from Ashland University. And a risky play there from Kurz, almost turned the ball over to Scott Stifler. But Stifler got a very heavy touch, rolls out of bounds for a Greyhound throw-in. Drury arguing for a handball on Patrick O'Brien, but referee John Freeman says no. Cleared back to Powell Alberti. Lee's pass for Stifler, cleared out by Kurz. And a quick opportunity for Drury. They get the ball right back, maintaining possession. Here's Alec Nagel through for Bruce. Cross into the box. Mathis couldn't quite get to the ball in time. Cleared out by Indy. But the Panthers, once again, maintaining pressure and keeping Andrew Verhonik and the UND defense on the back foot. Again, this game, the second of a doubleheader on this Friday evening on what is, for Drury's men's squad, the home opener of 2014. We just witnessed the women finish up a 1-1 draw. The Panther women did play the Lady Greyhounds from UND. Visitors taking a 1-0 lead right before halftime, but the Panthers getting an equalizer inside the final 5 minutes of regulation, and the two teams playing a scoreless 2 periods of extra time to finish in a 1-1 draw. That's the scenario we have here. If this game does finish even after 90 minutes of play, we will have 2 10-minute periods of sudden death overtime. And we did have 2 of our last 3 games go to that extra time when Ohio Dominican defeated fellow GLVC school Bellarmine 3-2. And then our game last Friday, Hampton-Sydney getting a win over Southern Virginia by a score of 2-1. That was in D3 play. Both of those game-winning goals coming at polar opposites of extra time. Ohio Dominican needing only 87 seconds to win a penalty and convert it, while Hampton-Sydney scored with just about 80 seconds remaining in the second period of extra time. Southern Virginia very close to seeing out the game to a draw, but falling just short in the final minutes. And that's something that, should this game get that far into second extra time, we will be keeping an eye on the fatigue of players who would be playing all 90 minutes. Goal kick awarded to Drury will be taken by Logan Ponche. Went to Francis Howell North High School in St. Charles, Missouri, a suburb of St. Louis. We did drive through St. Louis on our way here last night. About 12 hours. Had we not taken stops, it would have been less. But there are plenty of sights to see between Central Ohio and southwestern Missouri, as we'll bring you those tidbits throughout the broadcast. Here's UND starting an attack. Casey Zimmerman tried an attempted shot, deflected, and a foul gives a free kick to the Panthers. Here's Mike Lee. Now Stifler. Backheel pass from Nagel intended for Clark and cleared out by Indy only as far as Mathis. Tries a left-footed chip, wanted to set up Nagel, but a little bit of miscommunication, rolls out for a Indy throw-in. David Kurz, a freshman from Großkarolinenfeld, Germany. Went to Finsterwalder School. Alberti. One-touch pass from Clark and back to Alberti. From Wazi. And now a one-time shot turned aside by Andrew Verhonik. That was Ben Bruce taking the effort from outside the penalty box. And the first corner of the game comes in the 15th minute, although it will be the 16th by the time it's taken. No score between the Drury Panthers and the Indianapolis Greyhounds in this GLVC clash in this 2014 NSCAA Game of the Week. It will be Matt Clarkin to take this ensuing corner. He leads the team in goals in 2014 with 2. Bruce, Nagel, David Cross, and a fourth player have 1 each. And here's an opportunity inside the 6-yard box, cleared out by Indy towards Wazi. Deflected off of Stifler. Brett Steer also has a goal in the 2014 campaign. Drury has scored 6 times. Indy has scored twice, 1 goal each from Zach Matish and from Julian Shamshai. Amon plays back into the center of midfield. Here's Mathis to Nagel. Mathis continuing a run, has finding Bruce inside the penalty box. Bruce did a good step around to get past Casey Castle initially. But Indy is able to regroup on defense and clear out, forcing Drury to reset. Stifler looking for Nagel. Headed up by Rhoda and will be collected by Andrew Verhonik. 17th minute now, no score. Again, the Greyhounds looking for their first win of the season as Bruce got a header on that pass, but not able to control it. Verhonik collects, passes out to Patrick O'Brien, coming well back from his forward spot into defense. His pass got a touch from Zimmerman. Now Velman finding Wazi, trying to get in between 2 defenders, and Drury's Paul Alberti, that was David Cross, called into duty for the clearance. No substitutions yet. We have only played 17.5 minutes. Throw in for Drury. As the ball rolls just wide of the left post for a goal kick. Well, we mentioned this at the top of the broadcast, both coaches coming from Scotland. And if you are into world politics, surely you know about the vote that went on last night. The simple question, should Scotland be an independent country? Well, both coaches would have voted yes, John Higgins and Ryan Swan, but by a 55-45 margin, the country has decided to remain a part of the United Kingdom. As here's Amon. Cross cleared out as far as Mathis. Turnover to Ling initially. And a long-range effort goes over the crossbar. Took a deflection, and Drury will have a corner kick. Will be taken by Mathis in the 19th minute. No score. Mathis on the left foot. 3 Panthers right now waiting inside the 6-yard box. 25-41 and counting first half. Cross gets inside the 6-yard box, poked out by Verhonik. And Nick Amon very nearly gave Drury the advantage in the 20th minute, but couldn't keep his shot below the crossbar as Mathis's cross punched out by Verhonik. It did clear the 6-yard box, but fell perfectly to Nick Amon, who wishes he could have another try at that shot. That was a very promising opportunity for Drury to take a 1-0 lead. Verhonik kick. Sent back toward the redshirt senior from Plainfield, Indiana. As both coaches shouting instructions from the touchlines, Ryan Swan and John Higgins, both coaches with experience at their respective schools. Swan was an associate head coach. Higgins, a former player for Indy. One-time shot from Ling deflected by David Cross, number 4. Back to O'Brien. And a one-time shot, took a deflection again, maintaining outside the 18-yard box. An ambitious shot, always rising past the touchline, out for a goal kick. Well, we were talking about the 2 head coaches coming from Scotland. Both of them told me they would have liked independence. In particular, Indy's coach John Higgins said he wasn't surprised by the result, although he would have enjoyed had Scotland voted indeed for independence. Higgins comes from Dunfermline, which is in the Council of Fife. There are 32 overall in Scotland. Much like there are 50 states here in the United States, that's how they voted, and they did release the results for each council, and the Council of Fife did have a majority voting to not become an independent site, so Fife, independent country, so Fife sided with the majority, as did Perth and Kinross, the council where Ryan Swan hails from. Ryan coming from the town of Perth, about a half-hour away from Dunfermline, so not entirely far away. Certainly not like the 7-hour drive that separates Indy from Drury. But Swan's hometown, Perth, their council, Perth and Kinross, they also voted, though. Only 4 of the 32 councils had a majority vote of yes, including Scotland's capital city, Glasgow, also Dundee City. As a cross inside the box, a perfect header! As Nick Amon, just minutes after wasting an opportunity over the bar, gives Drury the lead in the 23rd minute. The cross was a perfect height, and the senior from Highland, Illinois easily heads it past goalkeeper Andrew Verhonik. Cross is credited with the assist, but Nick Amon's first goal of the 2014 season has given Drury the 1-0 lead, and the University of Indianapolis again finding themselves behind. The 2 games that they drew in, they did score first in both of those games. So they have not had much luck in coming from behind in this 2014 season, the season that the Greyhounds had high expectations for, having made the GLVC tournament championship game, then the NCAA tournament as an at-large team. They were picked first in the conference in the preseason coaches poll. Drury was picked 5th in preseason. As a cross into the box for Indy, collected by Punch. But a great cross from David Cross. Perfect placement, finding the head of Nickamon. All he had to do was get set and find a way to direct it past Andrew Verhonik, and find a way he did. He is the 6th different player to score for Drury in this 2014 season. And that is the 7th goal scored by the Panthers. Their first at home, as it is their home opener. But here's O'Brien quickly turning the ball over to the Panthers. David Kurz wants to take a long throw in towards Wazzy inside the box. Cleared out as far as Rhoda. Rhoda coming from Powell, Ohio. Not far from downtown Columbus. A little bit closer to Columbus than Delaware is, which is where our group is coming from. Our previous game, Wednesday night, Ohio Wesleyan beating Ohio Northern by a score of 5-1 as Ryan Swan makes his first substitution of the evening. Brings on number 27, Heat, a senior defender from Baldwin, Missouri. Went to Chaminade High School. Here's Kurz back to Verhonik, who clears past midfield. Sent back by Lee. Kurz to a Indy substitution. Leo Cunningham, a junior midfielder from London, England. So both teams making substitutions in this first half, as we're now under 20 minutes remaining till halftime. Ling turns the ball over to Alberti, finding Ryan Haas. Now Scott Stifler with the ball in possession. Takes a shot off the arm. Referee says it was unintentional. Now Indy. Kurz getting around Stifler. Now out for Wazzy. And a good clearance played cleanly by Ryan Haas, the senior defender from Wentzville, Missouri. Now action taking place right in front of the Drury bench, out of bounds. And the Panthers earn a throw-in. 18:15 to play. 1-0 Panthers on a 23rd minute goal, from Nick Amon. A perfect header past Verhonik off a cross from number 4, David Cross. And a cross into the box. Almost set up Amon for another headed goal. This one always rising above the cross. But Drury pushing for a critical 2-goal lead, which would prove huge, especially with halftime approaching. We're just about 17.5 minutes away from that intermission. And coming up at the halftime break, we will bring you a couple first half highlights and a look ahead to our schedule as the NSCAA Game of the Week series continues. We will rejoin you on Sunday from Lawrenceville, Virginia for an NAIA doubleheader featuring Georgia Gwinnett's men's and women's college teams. As Charles Goueli, a freshman forward from Paris, France, is now on the field as first half substitute. Casey Zimmerman downfield for David Kurz. He will keep the ball in play, cleared out by Drury. Corner kick to Indy. Corner kick taken short to O'Brien. Left foot across, off one of the crossbar. Not sure if that was the goal crossbar or the football post. Either way, Ponche did get a hand to the ball. Just seeing the replay there, it was off the football goal post. But it was because of Ponche's tip that the ball hit the iron. So here's O'Brien to take now a 30th minute corner. Crossing the box, headed out by Drury. Zimmerman wins the ball back for the Greyhounds. Uncontrolled by O'Brien, and that's something the Greyhounds will not afford if they are to come from behind to win this game, particularly as we get later on into this match. Just about 8:30 p.m. here in Springfield, Missouri, known as the Queen City of the Ozarks. That's a one-touch opportunity deflected off the head of a Drury midfielder. Backheel pass. Now an opportunity for Goueli, his first touch of the ball. Cleared from in front of him by Max Rhoda, but the Panthers will reset with an attacking three. Here's Amon, lone goal scorer so far, back in the 23rd minute. Amon wants a long throw in. He will place one inside the 6-yard box, punched out by Verhonik, only as far as Stifler. And an important clearance from Indy as far as Mike Lee. Here's Amon getting around Zimmerman and getting around Kurz. Assistant raises his flag for a foul, and Drury awarded a free kick in the 31st minute. No further action taken by referee John Freeman. Fans wanting a card. We have not seen any in the opening half hour. Although Indianapolis comes into this game with 7 yellow cards shown to their players in 4 matches. 1 straight dismissal. Mathis to take the free kick. Send it high and curling past the far post. That's the southeast post. And out for a Indy goal kick to be taken by Verhonik. This is Leo Cunningham, a substitute on the field for Indy. Wazzy, surrounded by 3 Panther defenders, loses possession to Stifler, who gets around Jacob Meyer, another substitute for the Greyhounds. He is a sophomore from Lebanon, Ohio, Bishop Fenwick High School alum. Alberti wants to take the long throw right at midfield. Very nice facility, Harrison Stadium, as what is officially called the Curry Sports Complex. Not just used for Drury athletics, but also for a local high school football team. You can clearly see the football yard marks on the field. Although tonight we are using the yellow lines. That documents the outline of a soccer field. Our broadcast location is unique. We are not located right at center circle and not the 50-yard line. Our press box more off to the southern portion or to the right of center circle. I myself right now am standing at the 28-yard line going south. Long throw from Kurz, headed on by Zimmerman, and out for a Drury throw-in as we are just over 11 minutes remaining in this first half. Gueli. A spinning move from Lee to keep possession. Clarkin. Alberti out on the wing. Drury forced to reset. Here's Mathis. Here's Haas. Eric Heat came on a couple minutes ago as a substitute. A senior from Baldwin, Missouri. Drury's trying to string together some passes in midfield. Lee will reach this pass. Finding him on was pushed from behind, but finding Gueli on the outskirts of the box. Now in a one-on-one position battle with Brendan Wiedow, the junior defender from Indianapolis. And Wiedow was last to clear the ball out of bounds. Drury will have a 36th minute corner. We are inside the final 10 minutes of the first half. Mathis' left foot corner. Almost made a mess of by Indy, but Greyhounds able to clear and force a corner at the other end of the field. This will be taken by Clarkin. Clarkin still the team leader in goals with 2 on the season. Takes this corner kick as Haas was unable to direct it goalward. The cross traveled well past the far post from that angle as John Freeman will have Andrew Verhonik retake that goal kick. Verhonik took that dead ball restart a little too quickly for Freeman's liking. This is the captain, Rhoda. Ling. Cross intended for Wazzy, who has been very quiet in this first half, as have most of the attacking Greyhound players. Drury maintaining the majority of possession, the majority of chances. We will be bringing you stats at halftime. A headed goal from Nick Amon, the difference. That was back in the 23rd minute. We are now in the 38th. Amon heads the ball off across from David Cross into the southwest corner, or southeast corner of the south goal, past a diving Andrew Verhonik. And now we see a slip by David Kurz, turn the ball back over to Drury, and that's something we might be seeing later on as the evening goes on. The sun has been set. It's been night for a couple of hours now. You imagine this is a turf field, so you imagine it would still somehow be affected with some sort of dew, and what kind of impact that will have on the players' footing as the night goes on, especially if Indy can equalize and take this match into overtime, just like the Drury women did against the Indy women in the first match of this doubleheader. Chipped cross into the box by substitute Eric Heat, always rising above the crossbar. I think it went through the goalpost. It would have been a field goal had we been playing American football. But this is association football. No points going through the goalpost, much to the dismay of Ted Lasso. Here's Brendan Wiedow. Rhoda, crossfield to Kurz. Now Ling. Lost possession to Stifler. Tried to chip one forward for Amon. And a collision there. Foul on Scott Stifler. Free kick awarded to the Greyhounds. And the referee does not call for the clock to be stopped. Card. Freeman would have been required to stop the clock were he inclined to give. Indy have a throw-in on the northeast side of the field. A long pass over to the west side of midfield, beyond the reach of anybody. Kurz will reset for Indy. A throw-in back to Wiedow. Under pressure from Gueli. Wiedow nearly turned it over, and an awkward pass back, who is the only player in the vicinity of that pass. Now Cunningham, a substitute from London, England. And a collision there between Wazzy and Mike Lee. Freeman gives a free kick to Drury. Clock continuing to run. 4:20 and counting first half. Here's a headed ball from Heat towards Gueli, cleared out by Kurz. Throw-in awarded. Actually, it'll be a free kick taken by Drury inside the final 3 minutes. Well, coming up at halftime, we'll bring you some highlights from the first half. Also, a look to our future broadcasts. We have several coming up over the next few days. As Clarkin, connecting on the pass from Mathis, sends his shot way wide on that effort. And Verhonik will gratefully take the goal kick. And also coming up at halftime, if you have questions that you would like to ask, be sure to send them on Twitter. Use the hashtag NSCAA. This is the first time we'll be doing this Ask the Broadcast booth. So you have any questions or you have a shout-out you'd like me to read on air, as long as it's clean, be sure to use the Twitter hashtag NSCAA, and I will read as many of them or answer as many of the questions as I can throughout the second half. Again, that's Twitter hashtag NSCAA. Here's Mathis bringing the ball across midfield, intended for Gueli. Collected by Verhonik, as we're now inside the final 2 minutes of the first half. Always wondering what the head coaches are going to say in the huddles at halftime. John Higgins in his 5th season, still looking for his first win of this campaign with the U of Indianapolis Greyhounds. Came into the season as the preseason favorite to win the Great Lakes Valley Conference. But so far they have as many losses in 2 conference games as they had in 15 conference matches all of 2013. Drury, meanwhile, 3-1 to start the 2014 season. They went 13-7 last year, 9-6 in the conference. And these two teams met twice a year ago. Indianapolis winning in the regular season in Indianapolis 3-1. And then a 3-2 win in the GLVC tournament semifinal. That was the final game of the Drury season. But right now the Panthers maintaining a 1-0 lead inside the final 50 seconds of the first half. Attacking throw to be taken by Nick Amon. 20 seconds now and counting in the first half. Last attack before the intermission. Headed by a UND player back towards Verhonik. That was a very scary situation that could have been nearly anywhere. But Verhonik able to clear across, sent back toward the south goal. And that will be the end of the first half. So Drury University maintaining the majority of possession, and it paid off in the 23rd minute with a goal from Nick Amon. David Cross with the assist. Amon gets his first goal of the season. And the U of Indianapolis hasn't been able to put together a whole lot of meaningful responses, but they will have 45 minutes to find an even a game winner. We'll be back after this quick timeout on the Turbo Sports Group Network. This is the NSCAA Game of the Week. Halftime from Springfield, Missouri. Drury 1, University of Indianapolis 0.
The NSCAA convention to me is probably the best place to get any sort of education of a wide variety that you can go in the world.
Always nice to see who you wander across in the hallways, might have a quick word with.
So I think it's exciting to meet youth coaches and high school coaches and even college coaches who are all really passionate about the sport.
It's a learning experience. I think it's invaluable both from a coach standpoint and from an administrative standpoint.
Each year, the NSCAA puts over 7,000 coaches through our coaching education program. Youth, high school, and college coaches at all levels participate in the diploma courses. No matter where you are in your coaching path, we have something for you. Join your peers and get educated. Better coaching, better players, better game. NSCAA Coaching Academy. Improving soccer, one coach at a time. Register today at nscaa.com/education.
Welcome back to Harrison Stadium on the campus of Drury University in Springfield, Missouri. Halftime of this NCAA Division II Great Lakes Valley Conference encounter between the Drury Panthers and the Indianapolis Greyhounds. Drury right now with a 1-0 advantage off a 23rd minute goal from Nick Amon, his first of the season, and the Panthers are 45 minutes away from getting to a 4-1 start to the season, while Indianapolis maintains its quest for a first win of the 2014 season. Let's take a look at some of the highlights of the first half, as Drury did maintain a heavy majority of possession. One each, and here's number 6-yard box right out by Indy towards Wazzy by Casey Castle, 41 and counting. First half. University cross gets inside the 6-yard box, poked out by Verhonik to Verhonik, and a quick shot taken by Amon. Nick up cross inside the box, a perfect header for the cross inside the box, a perfect header. Was able to make amends for that miss as Nick Amon goal. The cross just minutes after David Cross. Amon was able to direct the ball past goalkeeper Andrew Verhonik for his first goal of the 2014 season. Then Drury continuing to cross into the box. Brian, left-footed cross off. Continuing to attack the ball, though the UND one of the crossbar. Not sure if that was the goal. Logan Ponche, left-footed cross off. Able to tip the ball onto the football goal. One of the crossbar. Not sure if that was the goal. He needed to aim the shot a little bit lower in order for it to count, but Ponche looked to have the angle covered. Quick stats from the first half. Patrick O'Brien and Daniel Velman had 2 shots each for the Greyhounds. One of them was on target for O'Brien, so a grand total of 4 shots and 1 on target for the U of Indianapolis. For Drury, 3 shots from Nick Amon. 1 of them was on target. 1 of them found the back of the net. 2 shots from Ben Bruce, 1 from Matt Clarkin, 1 from Jack Mathis. David Cross credited with the assist. So a total of 7 shots, Drury, 4 for UIndy. Drury had more corner kicks in the first half, 4-2. UIndy committed more fouls, 6-3. And Drury's Logan Ponche made the only registered save of the first half. Right now, let's take a quick look at the rankings. The NCAA Men's Division II rankings have North Carolina taking over the top spot. They jump over UCLA and Creighton. The Blue Jays dropping from 2nd down to 3rd. And New Mexico, Notre Dame rounding out the top 5. Meanwhile, the Lady Bruins maintain the top of the NCAA Women's Division I rankings, and not a whole lot of changing in the top 10 there as well. Meanwhile, the NCAA Men's Division II rankings, Southern New Hampshire, the defending national champion, maintaining their top spot. A couple of big jumps, including Lynn University. They received votes last week. They're up to 6th this week. While Regis University, they were not ranked last week. They are up to 8th. Neither team here ranked in the Men's Division II poll nationally, although Drury is ranked 9th in the Midwest region poll. Taking a look at the Women's Division II rankings, College of St. Rose rises up from 5th to 1st place. And more couple of big jumps. Columbus State from 20th into the top 5. Previous number 1 Grand Valley State drops 3 spots to 4. And another team that was receiving votes, Barry, rises up into the top 8. Meanwhile, the NCAA Men's Division III rankings, 2-time defending national champion Messiah is in 1st. Kenyon is in 2nd as they maintain an unbeaten and untied start to the season. Couple of minor movements from the top 15 up into the top 10. Emory, U of St. Thomas, and Loras College benefiting from their very efficient weeks. And Washington University of Missouri maintains the top spot in Division 3, the women's ranking for a second straight week. Again, no major changes in the top 10. A couple of new faces in Thomas More and Misericordia University, rising up from 12th into 10th place. Upcoming broadcasts, we will rejoin you on Sunday afternoon for our first doubleheader of this NSCAA Game of the Week series. It will be an NAIA doubleheader featuring Georgia Gwinnett College. The men will host William Carey at 12 p.m. Eastern. Then the women's squads take on Northwood at 2:30 p.m. Eastern. And then we will have 2 travel days. We will rejoin you next on Wednesday, September 24th at 8:30 p.m. Eastern from Hastings, Nebraska, when Hastings takes on Kansas Wesleyan. We'll take one more break here on the TSG Network, and we'll bring you the second half uninterrupted when we return to Harrison Stadium in Springfield. 1-0, Drury leads Indianapolis in the NSCAA Game of the Week. Don't forget, when we return for the second half, be sure to use the Twitter hashtag NSCAA if you have a question for the broadcast booth or a shout-out you'd like to give to your favorite Panther or Greyhound. We will get those read on the air, as many as we can. Be sure to use the Twitter hashtag NSCAA. We'll take a quick timeout, be back in a couple minutes. This is the NSCAA Game of the Week. And welcome back to the NSCAA Game of the Week presented by Turbo Sports. Just about set to start the second half of the Division II GLVC clash between the Drury Panthers and the University of Indianapolis Greyhounds. Drury with a 1-0 lead off a 23rd minute goal from Nick Amon, a headed goal into the southeast corner of the south goal, past a diving Greyhound goalkeeper Andrew Verhonik. It's Amon's first goal of the 2014 season. Cross credited with the assist. And both teams have received final pep talks from the head coaches, Ryan Swan and John Higgins, who we mentioned earlier in this broadcast, were both from Scotland. They have both been hoping for their home country to become independent from Great Britain. But the University of Indianapolis will kick us off going left to right across your screen to start the second half. That's north to south in terms of geography. Of course, those of you who follow world news closely know all about the Scottish independence referendum. Coaches coming from separate towns in Scotland. Swan is from Perth in the Perth and Kinross Council, which the majority of that vote was to remain a part of the UK, as was the Fife Council, where Dunfermline, the hometown of Indy head coach John Higgins, is located. The 32 councils operating in this format much the same way as the 50 states of the USA function during an election. It was a simple majority that was going to prevail yesterday. It's not like our current electoral system where winner take all, first 270 electoral votes. And it was a 55-45 decision against autonomy. Throw in for Drury down the left sideline. Here's Charles Goueli, a freshman from Paris, France, who came on as a first-half substitute and is on the field to start the second half. He now loses possession at the northwest end of the field, and Andrew Verhonik will take this goal kick just about a minute and a half gone since the restart. Indianapolis, 2 wins, 2 losses on the 2014 campaign. 1 more loss, and they will have as many defeats in 5 games of 2014 as they had in 2013 when they went 15-3-3, finished second in the conference. They made the tournament championship game, conference tournament championship game. They qualified for the NCAA tournament as an at-large team, but did lose in the first round on penalties to Lewis. Drury, meanwhile, they were 13-7 a year ago, 9-6 in the conference. They were the 6th seed in the GLVC tournament, losing in the semifinals to the University of Indianapolis, a final score of 3-2 after the Greyhounds had won the regular season meeting in Indy 3-1. But the tournament semifinal loss for the Panthers was their final game of the 2013 season, and now they are 3-1 in Ryan Swan's 6th year as the head man at Drury. Corner kick from Mathis, punched out of the 6-yard box by Verhonik over everyone's head, and Drury have an attacking throw-in now in the 48th minute. Verhonik now able to collect. Actually, the ball had been deflected out of bounds for another Drury corner, this time at the northwest end of the field. It will be Max Clarkin, the co-captain and the leading goal scorer for the Panthers this season. He's the only one to have found the back of the net more than once. He has 2 this campaign. Clarkin from Florissant, Missouri, transferred from Southern Illinois, Edwardsville. His cross again punched out by Verhonik off the header of a UND player and out for another Drury throw-in over at the northeast end of the field. So Drury, they had the heavy majority of possession in the first half. They're trying to maintain that possession and have it pay off with a second goal early in the second half. Long throw inside the box. John Freeman, the referee, calls for a foul, a push in the back, and Indianapolis awarded the free kick in the 50th minute. Very cool night here in Springfield, the southwest portion of the Show Me State. Arrived here around this time last night after a 12-hour drive from Delaware, Ohio, home of Ohio Wesleyan University, about a half-hour drive north of Columbus. Got to see a lot of interesting sights on the way here to the field. As far as highways go, it's not extremely difficult. As a matter of fact, not difficult at all. Just mainly 3 highways to remember when getting from Delaware to Springfield. You take US 42 south to where it meets up with Interstate 70, and then you can take I-70 all the way west to St. Louis. And then from St. Louis, simply find I-44 west and take that all the way to Springfield. Home to Drury University, also to Missouri State University, members of the Missouri Valley Conference, and also Ozark Technical Community College. This site is not just the home for most Drury athletics, it also hosts high school football on select Friday nights in the fall. Obviously not tonight. But you clearly see the yard marks outlined on the field, as well as the soccer field outline, which is in yellow. Drury maintaining possession. Here's Mathis. Clarkin crossing to the box. Cleared out as far as a header sent back in by Paul Alberti. Collected on a couple of bounces by Verhonek, who gratefully accepts. Well, both teams' forwards could not have had polar opposites in the first half and the beginning of the second half in terms of activity. Drury's attacking players very active in creating opportunities, and one of them does have a goal on the night. That's Nick Amon back in the 23rd minute. While Indianapolis's forwards, Patrick O'Brien has been a little bit active, more in a midfield role, unable to create a shot to seriously test Logan Ponche. Same with Wazi, the senior forward from Rochester, New York, who simply goes by Wazi, full name Ngwazi Ebangwazi. Here's Ryan Haas. Cross had the assist. Headed back towards Gwelly. Intercepted cleanly by Julian Shemshai, who is one of the 2 players on the back of the net for the Greyhounds in 2014. The other being Zach Matish, who did not start. We have not seen him so far this evening. As Drury continuing a run now inside the penalty box. Cross into the 6-yard box collected by Verhonek. But again, the Panthers now trying to finish off counterattacks with goals. This winning possession back. Gwelly with a one-touch pass finding Nagel. Cross. Chip forward to Guelli. Almost got tangled up with his own teammate Alberti. Guelli tried a one-touch pass with Mathis. Pass was well ahead of the defender and co-captain. Turn back over to Indy. Here's Patrick O'Brien, who, as we mentioned, has been more active in a hybrid midfield role. Here's Wazzy, his first touch of the second half. Low shot. One-handed save by Logan Ponche. Able to stop the ball enough so it doesn't spill out for a potential follow-up opportunity for the Greyhounds. And Logan Ponche, who made the one save in the first half, deflecting the ball onto the football goalpost at the north end of the field, makes a save inside the 55th minute of the second half. So Wazzy, his first shot on target comes in the 55th minute, and now Indy looking to build some attacking momentum after that encouraging effort. A chip into the box. Too much pace for Josh Ling to handle. Otherwise, Logan Ponche would have found himself in a little bit of a pickle, as he did come out of the 6-yard box in an attempt to clear. Now Ponche will take this goal kick in the 57th minute. Just over a half hour remaining. Indianapolis still searching for their first win of the campaign. They are, as it stands right now, 33-49 and counting from their third loss of the season. That will be as many losses in 5 games in 2014 as they had all season in 2013. They played a grand total of 21 games. One loss was in the conference last season for the Greyhounds. 2 were out of conference in the regular season. Actually, one of them was in the regular season. A third loss came in the GLVC Tournament Championship game. Here's a throw-in coming in the 58th minute. Will be taken by Noah Zorniger. A halftime substitution made by John Higgins. Zorniger, a freshman defender from Avon, Indiana. Long throw-in will reach inside the 6-yard box. Bounces past Daniel Vellman. And last by Indy, out for a Drury goal kick, and Drury will make their first substitution of the second half in the 58th minute. Shane Woods, a junior forward from Kearney, Missouri. And this is Woods' first touch of the ball. A pass leading to a cross, trying to set up Alec Nagel for a run down the right side. This is Drury's first home game of the season, as Amon trying to make it count with a second goal. That looked to be more of a cross, trying to set up Guelli. Either way, it's past the Frenchman and for an Indy throw-in. Well, University of Indianapolis will be continuing their road trip this weekend. They had just a couple of hours back from where they came. It was about a 7-hour drive for them from Indianapolis to Springfield, and on that drive they went through the town of Rolla, Missouri, which is where they are headed for a Sunday afternoon encounter with Missouri S&T. Drury, meanwhile, will stay here at Harrison Stadium on Sunday afternoon for another conference encounter with St. Joseph's College of Indiana. So 2 games in 3 days for the Panthers against schools from the Hoosier State. A lot to see on the drive, not just from Indianapolis to Springfield, but also from the Columbus area where our TSG production crew came from. A lot of sights to see, including the town of Casey, Illinois, home to the world's largest golf tee, world's largest knitting needles, world's largest wind chime, and world's largest crochet hook, and coming soon, in construction right now, world's largest rocking chair. I myself had an opportunity to ring that wind chime. It was a lot of fun. We will actually be headed back down that area of I-70 West in a couple weeks when we visit Kansas City for Quincy at Rockhurst, another GLVC in-conference matchup. And hopefully I'll also remember to take the exit a couple of miles earlier in Martinsville so I can check out the world's largest horseshoe. Here's a cross into the box for Wazzy, cleared out unconvincingly by Drury, now very convincingly by Jack Mathis. And John Higgins will make his first substitution of the second half. Jacob Meyer, a sophomore forward from Lebanon, Ohio. He did get some minutes back in the first half. He comes on in the 61st minute with 29-11 and counting in regulation time. So if you're ever in that area of Illinois, I-70 West, Casey, Illinois is the town. Home to the world's largest golf tee, knitting needles, crochet hook, and wind chime. And coming soon, rocking chair. You don't have to be a golf fan or a knitting fan to appreciate all that the town of Casey has to offer. One-touch pass trying to set up Meyer, cleared out by Alberti. Indianapolis having an attacking throw-in. Here's Shamshai. Low cross into the box. Daniel Vellman went down low to try and head that ball towards the southeast corner of the goal, the same corner where Amon headed the ball into the net for what is so far the only goal of this contest. Just under 28 minutes remaining in regulation. Again, if we are tied after 90 minutes, we will have 2 10-minute periods of sudden death overtime. Our first game of the season featuring a GLVC school, Bellarmine University, did go to extra time. Ohio Dominican from the GLIAC, needing only 87 seconds to convert a penalty and get out of Louisville with a 3-2 win over the Bellarmine Knights. Our first 4 games of this Game of the Week series all featured schools that had the nickname Knights, and all 4 of those schools went winless. And then on Wednesday night, we had the Battling Bishops defeating the Polar Bears by a score of 5-1. And tonight we have the Panthers and the Greyhounds. Clock was stopped for a foul. Now we're back underway in what is now the 64th minute. Free kick to Drury was turned over temporarily. Now Alberti sending a long ball beyond anybody's reach, really. Out of bounds for a Indy throw-in. Well, Springfield, Missouri, very wonderful town. Got a chance to drive through it earlier today. And let me tell you, there is a reason they call it the Queen City of the Ozarks. And it's quite popular. It's about, metropolitan area, listed about 400,000. They are television market 74 out of 209. course, they are not home just to Drury University, but also several other universities, Missouri State, and also Ozarks Technical Community College. But Drury University is taking center stage on this Friday night in this NSCAA Game of the Week series, as Ryan Swan will make another substitution. Scott Stifler, who started the match, began the second half on the bench. He comes back in the 65th minute, excuse me. The senior from O'Fallon, Missouri, went to St. Dominic High School. Ponche's clearance sent back across midfield. Alberti's pass deflected out of bounds, last touch by Daniel Vellman. Vellman, the junior defender from Leutkirch, Germany. One of two Germans who started tonight for the Greyhounds. And Casey Castle, another man who started for the Greyhounds, is back. And Drury will bring on for the first time tonight senior midfielder from St. Charles, Missouri, number 11, Derek Horman. So one substitution for both teams in the 66th minute. Still have yet to see tonight for the Greyhounds one of the two men to find the back of the net for UIndy this season, Zach Matish, a junior forward from Indianapolis, Indiana. Speaking with John Higgins before this contest, he did say a couple of players did not down to Springfield, Missouri for this encounter. Matish was one of the players who is here in Springfield. He just has not featured tonight. Of course, one of the players who is missing, also an influential midfielder from Brownsburg, Indiana, J.T. Hackett. He is the only Greyhound to have been sent off this season. He is not serving his suspension tonight. He served it earlier in the month, but for unexplained reasons, he did not make the bus ride down from Indianapolis to Springfield. Here are the Greyhounds with an attacking throw-in. Cross into the box and into the side netting. So opportunity for the Greyhounds in the 67th minute, but Ponche and his goal not seriously threatened, and Drury will now take their goal kick under 23 minutes remaining in the first half, in regulation time, excuse me. This was about the time in the first half that Nick Amon found the back of the net for his first goal of the season and the first goal of the night. Is this the time where he gets the goal that, the way this match has been going, if Drury were to get a 2-0 lead, that would be that. As John Higgins will be sending another substitute on shortly. As Leo Cunningham, he came on as a substitute in the first half. He is back now in the 68th minute. A junior midfielder from London, England, previously played at SUNY Adirondack Community College. He comes in for Patrick O'Brien. Not a good night from an offensive standpoint for the junior from Blackburn, England. But he has made some valuable contributions in midfield and sporadically in defense. Here's Stifler winning the ball back for Drury. Clarkin back to Cross. And an attempted deflection. Ball falls to Shane Woods, who goes down. And free kick awarded to Drury. No card being shown. Referee John Freeman continuing to let the clock run. He would have had to stop it if he was wanting to show a card to a Greyhound player. Stifler tried a back heel pass from Alberti. Couldn't direct it towards goal or a teammate. And Verhonek will collect the ball and clear for Indy. And Ponche, who has been more active in the second half than he was back in the first, collects the ball on a bounce. One substitute set to come on soon for each team. We will be seeing the return of Ben Bruce, the sophomore forward from Ullapool, Scotland. And for Indy, Wazi, who had been substituted early in the second half. He did have a promising shot on target in the opening minutes of the second half, but Ponche able to dive to his right, make a one-handed save with the right foot as Mathis tries a one-time left-footed shot over the crossbar and the head of Verhonek. Out for a Greyhound goal kick, and we will see these two substitutions right now. So Wazi comes in for Daniel Vellman as John Higgins will, you would assume, go for a more attack-minded formation inside the final 20 minutes of this match. The Greyhounds still trailing 1-0. As Charles Guelli is the player to make way for Ben Bruce, a forward replacing a forward. Ryan Swan not quite electing to go defensive heavy just yet. As a cross intended for Shamshai. A defender playing way out of position, but he already has a goal in this 2014 campaign. Here's cross. Sent a long ball intended for Woods, who got a chest to the ball. Fielded cleanly by Verhonek. No doubt he has been the busier of the two goalkeepers this evening. Just shy of 10:30 p.m. on the East Coast. That's 9:30 in the Central Time Zone, which is where we are in Springfield, Missouri. This match was scheduled at 7:30 Central, but we were delayed by the extension of the women's match, which concluded about a half hour prior to this showdown. The Lady Panthers were also taking on the Lady Greyhounds. That match finished in a 1-1 draw after 110 minutes. They did play the full 2 10-minute periods of extra time. Indy scored late in the first, equalized inside the final 5 minutes of regulation to force overtime. And we did not see a game-winning goal in the extra 20 minutes, so the Drury women getting a draw on this Friday evening. The Panther men are just under 17.5 minutes away from win number 4 of the 2014 season. Their first home win, their first home game of a new campaign. Here's Mathis, almost collided with referee John Freeman. Now a left-footed shot, again rising above the crossbar, much like Mathis, his effort earlier in the second half. Well, once again, coming up on Sunday, we will join you next from Lawrenceville, Georgia, and Georgia Gwinnett College for an NAIA doubleheader. The action starts at 12 noon Eastern on Sunday when the Georgia Gwinnett men take on William Carey from Mississippi. William Carey comes into the game ranked 14th in the NAIA rankings, but Georgia Gwinnett coming off a shock Tuesday win. They won at second-ranked Auburn Montgomery 2-1. So the Grizzlies will be looking for their fourth straight win, their second straight over a top 15 school in the NAIA. While our second game of that doubleheader, the Georgia Gwinnett women go for a top 5 upset of their own when they host fourth-ranked Northwood from Florida. That action begins at 12 p.m. noon Eastern Time right here on NSCAA TV. Georgia Gwinnett versus William Carey at noon. That's the men's match. And then the second match of the doubleheader, the Georgia Gwinnett women against the Northwood women. Here is Shamshai coming up on the final quarter of an hour from Springfield. Cross down the left side. David Kurz was able to get a left foot touch on it, but too much pace for him to control. Rolls out for a Drury goal kick. Roughly a 10 to 11 hour drive awaiting us tomorrow from Springfield to Atlanta. I was able to look up the directions earlier today. Basically, it has us taking 65 U.S. Route 65 south, a couple of miles to U.S. 60 east, which we would take all the way to Paducah, Kentucky. Then take Interstate 24 east through Nashville, all the way to Chattanooga, Tennessee, and then take 75 south to the Atlanta metropolitan area. Georgia Gwinnett and the Lawrenceville area located on the northeast side of Atlanta. So from 75, take 285, the bypass, all the way over to Interstate 85 north. Alec Nagel is back on the field after a brief break on the bench. Senior midfielder from Jefferson City, Missouri. Indianapolis pushing for what could be a late equalizer. There are a couple fans who made the trip from the capital of the Hoosier State. It's about 7 hours from Indianapolis to Springfield. Just take Interstate 70 west all the way to St. Louis, and then Interstate 44 west all the way to Springfield. Here's Zimmerman. Now Shamshai. Indy has been on the back foot for much of this game, and there are many opportunities that Drury have had to go up 2-0, but here's Bruce down the left side, and Rhoda, an uncertain pass, but it does reach Verhonik back at the edge of the 18-yard box. He sends a clearance toward midfield. Here's Patrick O'Brien getting around one Panther defender, and a chip pass, a little too much zip. Mike Lee will let that bounce out of play. And Ponche will take this goal kick with under 11:45 and counting regulation time. Nick Amon, the only man to find the back of the net back in the 23rd minute. As it stands right now, that's enough to give Drury their fourth victory of the season. And if that result does indeed stand, again, Indianapolis would have as many losses in 5 games in 2014 had in all 21 games of 2013. Indianapolis went 15-3-3, 12-1-2 in the conference. They were conference tournament runners-up. They made the NCAA tournament as an at-large team, losing in the first round. They were the preseason pick to win the GLVC by the coaches. Drury, meanwhile, coming off a 13-7 season, 9-6 in the conference. They were 6th in the GLVC, made the tournament semifinals before losing 3-2 to the University of Indianapolis. They were picked 5th in the preseason poll. Panthers also coming into this game ranked 9th in the Division II Midwest Region poll. As far as the national poll goes, they are not ranked, not receiving any votes. But they continue to string together some wins, and that will change very quickly. A lot of turnover in the Division II national poll, a poll which only had its first issue of the 2014 season about a week and a half ago on September 9th. This is week 2. Week 3's rankings will come out next Tuesday, the 23rd. Rhoda winning the ball back for Indianapolis. One-touch pass from Castle will find Shamshai. Not able to control the ball, goes out on the touch line. Not a whole lot of complaining from Shamshai. Perhaps he knew it. We are inside the final 10 minutes from Harrison Stadium. Drury leading 1-0 on a Nick Amon goal back in the 23rd minute. They have not found an insurance goal, but U of Indy has failed to find an equalizer so far. Here's O'Brien out on the wing to Kurz, who's unable to keep the ball in bounds, and Drury will take a throw-in. And this is that time of the game where Ryan Swan will be urging his men to take as much time as they can, especially with John Higgins. You would assume he would be pushing his men to win the ball back, and with those kinds of instructions, you wonder how much fatigue will play a factor, as many players in the outfield have been on the pitch for all, to this point, 81 minutes. Here's Jimmy Trigger, a second-half substitute, a sophomore from Shelby Township, Michigan. Rhoda, the captain, the Ashland University transfer. Shamshai from Terre Haute. Now Zimmerman out on the wing to Kurz. Wazzy waiting in the middle. He's been very quiet all night long. Cross was headed into the box by Velman, cleared out by Drury. Towards Rhoda at center circle. We're now in the 83rd minute, under 8 minutes to play regulation time. Drury got an equalizer very late in the second half in the women's match earlier tonight against UIndy. Can the Greyhounds return the favor in the men's match? Indianapolis throw-in. Here's Mathis, influential as a defensive midfielder. Really, it's more of a hybrid because he has been very attack-minded. He's been taking the majority of the dead balls awarded to the Panthers, and the free kick awarded here by referee John Freeman, who has not shown any cards in 83 minutes and some change. Not likely to change that now. As here are two of the co-captains, Jack Mathis and Matt Clarkin, who are standing over the ball as the clock continues to run now with just over 6.5 minutes remaining in regulation time. Ball is placed on a 25-yard line. The goal line is located at the very back of the end zone, so this would be from about 35 yards out for Matt Clarkin. The co-captain on the right foot. tried to chip it for a teammate. Would have been a lovely setup, but just over the head of the jumping Ben Bruce. And a goal kick taken by Verhonek. Ben Bruce, backheel pass to Cross. He had the assist. Cross in the box for Nagel. Intercepted by Indy. Kurz clearing towards Vel. Throw into Drury, right in front of the Panther bench, and now Ryan Swan will surely be telling his players to take as much time as they can without any ramifications. Long throw after the collection by Verhonek, as Indy have to push forward now in the 85th minute. We have not seen Zach Matish tonight, one of the 2 goal scorers so far this season for the Greyhounds. He did make the trip to Springfield, but has not featured at all in tonight's match. There is a Greyhound substitute right now waiting to enter, and it is not Matish, the junior from Indianapolis. This is Samshai's cross into the box, just over the head of a jumping Velman. Castle will let the ball roll out after the clearance for a Greyhound throw-in. And here comes Indy. They will bring back Jacob Meyer, the sophomore forward from Lebanon, Ohio. Ben Bruce will exit for Drury. He will be replaced by number 17, Quentin Bridegroom, a defensive midfielder from Avon. Excuse me, not Bridegroom. That's number 17 for Indianapolis. Now on the field for Drury, number 17, Mitchell Waters, a defender from Bolivar, Missouri. So long throw in taken by Rhoda. Cleared by Waters towards Nagel. Kurz getting the ball back, and an ambitious cross does go through the football goalpost. That's the second time we've had that occurrence in this match. But Ponche will take the goal kick, and we're now just about 4 minutes to go in the game. Ryan Swan is making substitutions with defense and protection in mind, as Drury trying to hold on to this 1-0 lead. John Higgins has been making more attack-minded substitutions. But the Greyhounds have only 220 seconds to make those attacking-minded changes pay off, or else they will suffer their 3rd loss in 5 games and still be seeking that first win in the 2014 season. Drury maintaining possession initially on the northeast side of the ball. One back by Rhoda. Verhonek clears out of bounds for a Drury throw-in. As we told you earlier tonight, couple Indy fans making the trip down to the Queen City of the Ozarks, exploring all that Southwest Missouri has to offer. And it does have quite a lot of bit to offer, as Drury inside the box, a one-time shot, and that could do it. Scott Stifler, the senior midfielder from O'Fallon, Missouri, finding space and able to direct the shot past a jumping Verhonek off the crossbar. Actually, is it not a goal? It actually was a corner kick. The way fans reacted would make one think it was a goal, but Verhonik was able to turn it away, out for a corner kick. So once again, my apologies. Drury have not got a second goal. It remains 1-0. Indy still has a chance to find it. They only have 2 minutes to get one. Long ball forward for Wazzy. Now headed in the direction of Castle. And a long clearance from David Cross. Anywhere will do at this point for the Panthers. Jimmy Trigger. Back to Trigger. Wanting to find Wazzy. Headed forward by Meyer. Quick turnover back to Drury. And a long clearance toward Verhonik, who is well out of the 18-yard box. He's about 35 yards from his goal line. His clearance headed back by Mathis. Final 70 seconds now. Here's 1 minute remaining. Drury looking for a second straight win. And their first win at home in their first game at home in the 2014 season. Mathis, one-touch pass to Cross, and now Drury's going to play keep ball for the final 40 seconds. Throw into Indy. They will have to take it a little bit closer to midfield. Clock continuing to run. They'll only have about a half minute to attack when they do restart play. Velman. Clear by Cross back toward the middle of the field. This will be collected by David Kurz, but with 20 seconds remaining. Indy have to take this throw in quickly now. Trigger again. Final 10 seconds. Falling right to Velman. Leaves off for Wazzy. Shot was deflected. And the Drury Panthers, in their first home game of the 2014 season, hang on for a 1-0 win. They beat the team that got them twice a year ago, the University of Indianapolis, as the Greyhounds are still in pursuit of their first win of the 2014 season. They did have a couple of opportunities in the second half, most notably from Wazzy, who had an on-target shot southeast corner of the south goal, forcing Ponche to make the save with the right hand. But the one goal of the match coming in the 23rd minute from Nick Amon, his first of the season, it would be all the Drury Panthers would need as they improve to 4-1 on the season. They are 2-1 in the Great Lakes Valley Conference. Indianapolis Greyhound now goes to 0-3-2 in 2014. They are 0-2-1 in the Great Lakes Valley Conference. We'll come back, have our quick final sign-off, and we'll give you more information about how to follow the NSCAA Game of the Week series, as this is not our final GLVC matchup. But the final score here from Harrison Stadium in Springfield, Missouri, Drury 1, University of Indianapolis 0. We'll be back after this quick timeout. You're watching the NSCAA Game of the Week on the Turbo Sports Network.
NSCAA convention to me is probably the best place to get any sort of education of a wide variety that you can go in the world.
Always nice to see who you wander across in the hallways might have a quick word with.
So I think it's exciting to meet youth coaches and high school coaches. Coaches are all really passionate about the sport.
It's a learning experience. I think it's invaluable both from a coach standpoint and from an administrative standpoint.
Each year, the NSCAA puts over 7,000 coaches through our coaching education program. Youth, high school, and college coaches at all levels participate in the diploma courses. No matter where you are in your coaching path, we have something for you. Join your peers and get educated. Better coaching, better players, better game. NSCAA Coaching Academy. Improving soccer, one coach at a time. Register today at nscaa.com/education.
Don't forget to register for the 2015 NSCAA Convention. It will be held January 14th through the 18th of next year in Philadelphia. For more information and to register, log on to nscaa.com/convention. Once again, a good evening from Springfield, Missouri. A 1-0 win for the Drury University Panthers over the University of Indianapolis Greyhounds in the 2014 NSCAA Game of the Week, presented on the Turbo Network, as we take a look at some of the highlights and some of the key stats from tonight's game. For the University of Indianapolis, only two shots on goal. One opportunity inside the six-yard box, cleared out by Indy towards Wazzy, and did have Logan Punche scrambling, counting first half. The goalkeeper for the Panthers gets inside the six-yard box, poked out by Verhonek. In total, there were 6 shots. And Nick cross inside the box, a perfect cross inside the box, a cross inside the box, a perfect header. Indy. And as Nick Amon made just minutes after wasting. They did have 10 shots, 2 of them on target. Both on-target efforts were from Nick Amon. It only takes 1 to make a difference potentially, and Amon did get that cross into the box. Brian, left-footed cross off. Found the back of the net. One of the crossbar. Not sure if that was the goal inside the penalty box. Cross into the 6-yard box, collected by Verhonek. First touch of the second half. Low shot. One-handed save by Logan Punche. Ben Bruce had 2. Nick Amon with 4. This is Drury's first home game of the season, as Amon trying to make it count with the second save with the right foot as Mathis tries a one-time left-footed shot over the crossbar. Indy had none, and the offer as Drury kicks overall in the match. Inside the box, a one-time shot. Corner kick tally, and that could do it. Scott Stifler, the senior midfielder. As we take a look at the couple of highlights remaining in this second half, as Indy did have a couple of opportunities in the second half, but not able to find a way past Logan Punche and the Drury defense. The Panthers were able to hang on for a win in the home opener of 2014. So Drury improves to 4-1 on the season. They are 2-1 in the Great Lakes Valley Conference. University of Indianapolis is 0-3-2 in the 2014 season. They are 0-2-1 in the Great Lakes Valley Conference. That will do it from the Queen City of the Ozarks. A reminder, be sure to join us on Sunday. And not before you be sure to log on to our website, turbosportsgroup.com, to purchase game video for this game and all the games we do here at the NSCAA Small College Game of the Week Series. Be sure to use the website, turbosportsgroup.com. That's all one word, TOURBEAU. And a reminder, we will join you next on Sunday afternoon from Georgia Gwinnett College in Lawrenceville, Georgia. An NAIA doubleheader kicking off at 12 noon Eastern when the Georgia Gwinnett Grizzly men's soccer team takes on top 15 ranked William Carey. And the women will kick off about a half hour after the conclusion of the men's match. The women will take on 4th ranked Northwood in that NAIA doubleheader, and then we will be back on the 24th for a matchup from Hastings, Nebraska between Hastings and Kansas Wesleyan. Now for Scott Cheney, Todd Ward, Chase Neidig, and our entire NSCAA and TSG crew, I'm Matt Digby. Thank you for watching this presentation of the NSCAA Small College Game of the Week series. We'll talk with you next on Sunday, but for now, a very pleasant good evening from the Queen City of the Ozarks. We'll see you next time. This has been the